Hey everybody, Mike Pfeiffer, Pfeiffer Hobby Supply once again, but most of you already knew that, and I appreciate that. Um, I would like to encourage everybody to go to the vintage page. I've been saying it every video, but I don't see anybody over there buying anything. Um, I don't know. All I can do is ask you guys. So, anyway, we're going to do video 21. And it is, as you'll notice, and I don't know if anybody has noticed yet, but I've changed the banner color when the video opens. And I'm going to change it at every 10. I'm going to change the colors there. Whoopie-doo. But anyway, let me show you what I've been up to lately, and we'll see if you approve. Okay, everybody, it's Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to everybody. Belated by the time this video comes out. Anyways, it was suggested that I put expanding foam in this crack here and come down here and use expanding foam and then cut it off. However, my reusable expanding foam that I had was not reusable. And so I decided to use Celluclay. And once I got to messing with it, I filled that, well, I put some foam, some hard foam in that crack along with some newspaper, filled it in and filled that with Celluclay. And when that dries, I'll be able to do whatever I want to with it, color-wise or whatever. And I just carried it on down here and made a rock here at the end out of it and filled in this corner. And I will paint that, clean the fascia up, paint that rock, and that'll solve my problems. I had a bunch left over, so I made a rock here, and I made a rock over there. And this morning I came out and I made my hill a little bit taller over there to allow me to blend into my backdrop over there. And I know all that looks like a mess, but all I have to do is bring some clean water out here in a bucket with a sponge or two and wipe that plaster right off of there. I do have the track clean, but unfortunately I got carried away doing this Celluclay. And so anyway, nothing new this way, except I have run a train around, but I didn't film it. And then I got the wild hair. Well, why don't I use the Celluclay to blend in my rock over here? So I did that, and I did that, and the other day I made those rocks out of Celluclay, and let's see, if I come way over here, hold on, get past all my junk, I tied in those rocks with Celluclay and made that Celluclay rock on the edge of that hill over there. So we'll see how it goes. I think once it dries, it's going to be okay. And once the scenery material gets put on there and all of it gets painted and all the rocks get painted, I think it's going to look good. It's pretty easy to put the Celluclay around the rocks. So I'm hoping that works out in the end, but we'll find out. But I'm going to head out and we're going to go do Mother's Day things. Okay, everybody. I have cleaned off the top of the layout. I have vacuumed. I have filled in my little spot back there, which I've covered. And I pulled everything out off the top. I was able to put the stuff I'm currently using inside my little toy box. So I can, the beauty of that is I got a place to sit and I can pull the stuff off the top of the layout that I'm using, put away the tools, and put away some of the stuff that's being used down there. So that's kind of cool. So I've got all the track cleaned off, not perfectly, but enough to run trains. And as you can see, I am currently running 3 trains. These two, this one, and that one up there are on the main line. And the one you can't see, hang on a minute. I'll keep an eye on those, keep those 2 trains separated. And in just a second, the upper level train will be coming. There it is. So we have that one running on the upper loop. That one running on the main line. And that one running on the main line. So this is the first time that I've actually been running 3 trains at a time, although I only really need to keep an eye on the 2 that are on the main line. But I'm kind of enjoying just sitting here watching trains go through the scenery that's done. I'll just take a little bit of video of it for you guys. And our other train has just entered the tunnel over there. So I'm likely going to have to slow that one down a little bit more even. So we're going to slow that one down to 12 also, setting of 12. I tell you, it's good to see trains running again. With all this plastering taking place, it's been kind of hard to get trains to function. I have taken the time now to get them to function. So here comes our GP30s with our scrap train. So our scrap train is coming up from the bottom, and I'm gonna scooch you up here and let you watch this train run around the loop. And this is a relatively small loop, but the beauty of it is once all the scenery's in it on there and everything, and once all the structures are out here in front, you don't see most of the trains running around the small loops. We'll go down and take it going across the bridge. And you'll be able to see just the top of our GPs coming up. So I think this little session of running it's good for me to make sure that the layout is still functioning. And it's something for a change, you know. Here we'll be able to see the 2 trains on the main line kind of passing each other to look, kind of looks like they're going different directions, but they're not. Here's just a little bit of a drone shot. I sped up the scrap train, and I'm going to get both of those trains once they get on the upper level with the drone shot, and then we're going to take the scrap train into the yard. And there you have it. Now I'm going to get down off of here and try and bring the scrap train into the yard and see how that goes. Okay, I've thrown switch 7, which should be the Y, into the yard, and I've already pre-thrown all the turnouts where I want the train to go. And we're going to close switch 7. And you can see the train winding its way through the double crossover. And here we are. Okay, everybody, I've added 5 more cars to my manifest, including the one track cleaning car, which is behind the locomotives, which I've been running around, but I added those 3 gondola cars, and I added those 2 sulfur hoppers. So you can see now that the train exceeds my maximum length of siding, but I can run a couple of trains that long, and the yard should be long enough to hold it. It might hold it. I don't know. The longest tracks in the yard might hold that train. Okay, guys, I painted some rocks and highlighted some rocks today, and it's hard to picture it with without ground paint, but you can see how it looks, and they fade out going over here to where the desert is. Obviously they lose a little bit of their redness as they come around over here to the dark side, as I say. But if I stand way back here, you can kind of see the whole thing. Just some painting of rocks and areas that should be rocks that aren't rocks. And the next step here is to put the ground color on, and then we're going to add some foliage. Okay, gang, I'm kind of getting there. I built that little building flat and this building flat, and it's kind of allowing me to fill in as we go down this way. You can see, hang on, you can see the movie theater up there. Well, it's not exactly where it goes. That's likely where it's going to go. And then there'll be some foliage and stuff in front of it. But you can see that it is the Star Drive-In. So that'll be facing that way. And if you can picture some trees and foliage around the edge of it, that'll be that. I've got one area here I need to work on somehow. Not exactly sure what to put in there, but I have a few other buildings that I can work on that can go there. Once I get that filled in, then I think I can figure out how to make the rest of this look like something. Hang on one second. Okay, I have a bottle of paint sitting behind that flat there, but you can see how that looks down on this end. And then there'll be probably a small building or two right in there. And that'll probably be it. And then that wall that I built there will kind of be like a step down wall to this other section. But anyway, if I stand back here a little bit, you can kind of see how that city area is coming together. I'm not there yet, but I'm getting there. Here's a close-up picture of the Harris door manufacturing. I would say that was a very difficult, even though it's a flat, it was a very difficult structure to build. The fitment was not too good and so forth. It was an RS laser kit. You can make it turn out, but the instructions are not too good. And then here's, I don't know if I've taken a close-up of the cold storage building, but down there you can see that I've just laid a number 4 left turnout there. That's how that's going to go. A track will come down here on the other side, go around. It'll probably swerve around the back side of the coaling facility and then go down and feed the Harris door and cold storage buildings. And the buildings down here will be relatively nondescript. So, not sure how I'm going to take care of that, but it should be pretty easy. Okay, guys, I wanted to show you too. Here's just the three houses that I built. I don't know whether those are the locations they'll go in, but I have also just ordered 2 N-scale pump jacks with oil tanks that are resin printed from eBay. And then I ordered also 2 of the same exact thing in Z-scale to go back on the mound that I put coming off of the backdrop back there. So the Z-scale will give it a far away look. And then the N-scale ones will be probably up here on this hill. One on this hill here and one down here in this low level right up close here. But once I get those, I can paint those. As you can see, I still need to do more plaster cloth and more plaster texturing. But I'm contemplating doing that later on today, but that'll be for another video. Okay, gang, I'm working on 2 more buildings, 2 more flats. This one I think is going to go there. And as I told you earlier, I'm going to build a short one over there. But I think I have enough buildings in there now that I can, that area can be completed with the addition of just some trees and some foliage in between the buildings. Especially over here, putting a tree right there in the middle between those buildings or something of that nature. I can make it work. I can make that whole thing work. So this is where we are, and I think I'm going to wrap this one up for a video. I was going to quickly mention to you guys too that my King Joy tripod finally broke. The screw on the other side over there that retains the rise finally, well, it broke somehow. And anyway, I'm probably gonna have to buy another one of those, but I did a video on these tripods, and they work extremely well, and they're not overly expensive. But anyway, it broke, and I'm going to get another one. Okay, here I am standing in front of my jugs and all my paints and all that junk, trying to hide it while I do this outro. But anyway, check out the vintage page, and as usual, should I do it yet or not? Thanks for watching.